Day 19 of Just Debit and Make It Work. Hello everyone, I'm back and it's me Tom again. Sorry for the voice yesterday, it's not big enough I guess. I rewatched the video, it's not easy to follow. The music is a bit big, the voice is a bit small, but I hope you guys can still hear and get the idea. Alright, so I already finished most of the app for Android. But today I'm gonna add one more thing before we jump to iOS part. It's about like how I want to manage the mechanism so that we can have a way to update the food list for every country remotely instead of asking our user to download the new version of the application. Back to the history a little bit. In the past, it takes a lot of resources for a team to do that, and they normally, when they work on the MVP version of the application, they will do some kind of hard code the data file as a JSON file inside the build, so that when user download the build, they will have the food list. But in the future, there might be the need of update the food list for each country. For example, like you want to add more food item into every country to introduce your user more options when they random the food items. But nowadays this is much more easier, and today I will show you how I deal with that. Basically, in my application What for Lunch, locally I will work on room database in Android, and before I init the database, I will read the food item list from local JSON files. But at the same time, I will also use Firebase service to have the mechanism to update it remotely. Again, so as I mentioned, the goal here is to have a mechanism for us to update the food list remotely without asking user to update the application. So there are many solutions in the market provided by Firebase, which is belong to Google. The other can be some service from Azure or services from Amazon Web Service. So because I'm an Android developer, so I'm more familiar with Firebase service, and especially for the simple application like What for Lunch that I'm trying to develop, we avoid to having the full team from backend to mobile application, so that we can reduce the maintenance cost, which means I need a solution that able to work without backend, without database, without server, and therefore I pick Firebase cloud service, which is belong to Google, and they build up almost everything. The rest is depends on the service that you select, but for me in this case is Firebase storage, which allow you to store some JSON file or whatever file on their entire infrastructure. I don't want to get too deep into the technical part, but here is where I store and update on the JSON data file, which means in the future I can just upload the file here to replace the food list, for example from China, right? Sans, which is China I think, or Germany. I just need to replace the file here, and basically in this file is contain a JSON data structure represent for the food list. So if I want to add more food item into the list, I can based on the existing file, and I can copy the content, I can paste to AI, I can ask them to add the new food item, and then I create a new file, then upload here back. And then Firebase storage, we have a mechanism to check if the user device already have the latest version of this file or not. If not, it will automatically sync from remote to the local device, and therefore the next time user open the application, they will see the latest food item. So yeah, just very quick walk through how I achieve the goal to update the food item list without asking user to update the version of the application on their device. It's kind of common, problem in software development in general, and nowadays done super easy. I want to share it to you because sometimes with just a small detail and a small feature of the application that bring a little bit benefit to our user experience as well as our development life, our developer life. It looks simple, but behind the scene there's a lot of things to do, there's a lot of steps, there's a lot of things to consider. For example, the security part, consider the performance part, the cost, like to maintain server or something like that. In this case, just need to pay for private cloud service, and the rate is pretty much cheap until my application reaching like 1 million user. So how about you? How you tackle those things in your application? If you have any question or suggestion, just drop it into the comment. I'm happy to share and I'm happy to discuss with you further. All right, see you tomorrow.